Hi, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to go over some ways to improve our app, and that includes adding tests to make this code more production ready, and we're going to use AI for as much of it as humanly possible. If you're ready to get started learning how to use AI to write your own tests, then stay tuned. Let's learn together. So if you remember last time from our project, you may remember that whenever we clicked the calculate button, it didn't actually do anything, which is a bad user experience. And this is not great for letting the user know what's going on. If you do this kind of thing in your production app, you'll probably get reviews saying, 1 star, this app doesn't work, because we're not providing feedback to the user. So let's see if we can get ChatGPT to fix that for us. That is because if the height in inches is not greater than 0, then we just don't do anything. So let's see if we can get ChatGPT to fix that for us. Can you remove the if check for the inside the calculate BMI function, and if the height is not greater than 0, then we want to display an error text to the user, letting them know what happened. Nice. Okay, so it looks like it gave us an error message saying height must be greater than 0. So let's actually just give that a shot and see if it works and where it shows up at. Nice. So height must be greater than 0 shows up right below the calculate button. And while the UI doesn't look spectacular, at least it's headed in the right direction. So that's pretty good. So let's come down here and let's see where our error text is actually being used. Okay, so it's right here. So if there is an error message, then we want to display it. Nice. So now that we have that little bit of user experience cleaned up, let's go ahead and see if we can get AI to write some unit tests for us. So let's come back over to ChatGPT and let's ask it, can you write unit tests for the calculate BMI function? Okay, so that's interesting. It looks like it has added a test. Let's see if we can go find that code here. Let's go back over to our project navigator. Nice. Okay, so we've got our BMI view model test file here, and it looks like it is trying to import Swift. It should have imported Swift testing, but it just imported testing. And I wonder if that's because our project doesn't have testing added to it yet. So let's go ahead and let's jump over to our project navigator and let's add a unit testing bundle to our project. And sure, we'll just stick with the defaults, that'll be fine. Nice. Alright, and so now let's go back over to our test file here. Let's actually take all the code from our test file here and let's move it into our test folder that we got. So let's do this. There we are, and we'll get rid of this bit of testing here. Okay, and then we don't need this file anymore, so let's just go ahead and delete that one so we can move it to the trash. There we are. And now it's saying that it can't access the view model, so we need to let it be able to do that by saying @test. And so we will say @testable, and then we will import our app. There we are. Now it looks like we're getting a lot of errors here dealing with main actor isolation. So let's go ahead and let's let our view model here knows that it runs on the main actor. And now let's jump back over to our test, and that should help clean up some of these errors. Now those warnings turn to errors here in this instance because it says main actor initializer init cannot be called from outside of the actor, because these unit tests don't run on the main actor by default. So what we can do, since this is just a simple app, we can quickly go ahead and say that we want all of our tests to run on the main actor. Nice. So it looks like that got us up and running. So let's go ahead and let's look over our test and see what it's given us. So it looks like we're validating that height and weight calculates the correct BMI. Okay. And then that the height of 0 results in error and no BMI. It's making sure that we have the correct error message. And then negative height returns an error. Okay, cool. And a 0 weight calculates BMI as 0. Cool. So it looks like it's taking care of some of the literal negative cases, and it's making sure that the errors are what they should be, which is good. It's also ensuring that we test all the boundary scenarios of negative numbers, 0, and it's also making sure that when we have good numbers that it works as expected. So this is actually a pretty good set of unit tests. So let's go ahead and run them and see what we get. Nice, all our tests passed. And with that, we were able to use AI to add tests to our app. And we were able to test it and make sure that it all works well, and it even tested all our edge and boundary cases too, which is really good. And with that, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. And if you leave a comment, just be nice about it. That's all I ask. Thanks. Have a great day.